Hey, this is Nfteve Hennessy, and I'm here with Alex. He lives in Mexico and he does some amazing work. And I was just gonna say, I used to live in Mexico, so whenever I hear mariachi music and listen to the words, I'm like, I want to move back to Mexico. You know, it's such an amazing, incredible country. I lived there for quite a while. So, where do you live, in Mexico City?
No, I'm living in Colombia.
Oh, you live in
But
Colombia?
I have Mexican, I have Colombian.
Oh, cool. So, have you ever lived in Mexico?
Yeah, I grew up in like both countries, literally. Work in both countries, and I go back and forth, for different things, different reasons. But yeah, so like all my art style
Hmm.
basically has a lot to do with both of my backgrounds and my childhood, and the things I remember, and I'm also in a journey to find my own past, because because of colonization, like Spaniards killed many of the native people, and we were mixed with other people, and we were forced to speak Spanish, like be Catholic, all of that, and in the middle, um, we lost a lot of our culture,
Hmm.
so my art basically it's an exploration to the past, but also an exploration of a little bit of the future and the pop culture references. So I mix a lot, like origin of different native cultures of Colombia and Mexico,
Hmm.
and actual pop culture, because I basically grew up with all of these different backgrounds and contexts,
Wow, amazing. Yeah, cool. Well, I went to school in La Una in Mexico City.
Laguna.
I lived there for a while, quite a while.
I live in Saltillo.
Saltillo. Wow, I think I might have been to Saltillo one time. That is like,
That's two
that's
hours.
near where the Huchitanas are, right?
That's where the Sarapes were born in Saltillo.
Oh, really? Yeah, Saltillo is like the coast. That's like between Oaxaca and something else, right? I feel like I've been there once. One time
Oh,
I was so
that's in
far
the
away.
north,
Oh, it's in the north?
to Monterrey.
Oh, mixing it up with
Monterrey.
somewhere else. Okay, in Monterey. Oh, it's beautiful up there. All right, well, let me we'll just have you show some of your work and we'll just start looking at it and talking about it and get right into it.
Okay, okay.
Now hit the share screen and then just show the first piece that you want to show.
Okay, let me practice my sharing game. I guess
You're
this
the
is
third Colombian I've interviewed, and I've only interviewed like 10 people or 15. So that's interesting.
okay, okay. So um yeah, this is my profile of OpenSea.
Uh-huh.
So you can find different work, different all the things I talk to you.
Uh-huh.
But there's this illustration that is really define my style,
Wow.
because this is
Is that as big as you can get it? Is that your full extension of your screen?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just making sure because a lot of people are going to be on their phones.
Okay. So basically, this is a
Wow.
portrait of Carlos Valderrama, which is a famous Colombian soccer player. Um, so I'm gonna Google it
That's
actually.
amazing.
So, so he's really a pop culture icon in Colombia. So he has this big
Yeah.
hair. He was an icon in the US in the 90s because he played also in two teams in Tampa Bay and Miami Fusion. So they have this Carlos Valderrama Day, which like all the people, the fans wear this wig, this blonde wig, which is iconic of him. And he's a pop icon in Colombia because he was part of the very successful generation of soccer in the 90s. And so I just decided to sketch him, but then I started to explore different textures of different Colombian cultures, like the muiscas that work a lot with gold, handcraft, and the culture of Sinu, which they have the sombrero volteado, which is the typical hat of Colombian music, vallenato and cumbia. I want to show you the reference later.
Yeah.
So all these textures are really inspired on this combination of native cultures, you know. And so I think that's what really started exploration of like indigenous cultures with like Colombian and actual pop culture. And since then, I'm expanding this to, I started with this soccer player, but then I just went with the other ones which are modern. This is
That's a great piece. Is it sold or do you have, is it like an edition or is it a one of one or what is it? I mean, it's really,
it's a one-of-one edition.
it's very amazing. Your art is so unique and really,
yeah. So
it's
that's
amazing.
what I want to share.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I feel honored. And yeah, I want to share that, you know, like a style that is typical to my roots and my origins.
Beautiful.
This is James Rodriguez, which is actual soccer player from the like super famous. So this is I want to show to different audiences. This is the player, which is a famous Colombian player, maybe one of the most successful ones. And yeah, as I said before, this is a little bit expanding into the narrative, like exploring the textures.
Yeah, those textures are just amazing.
So I want to tell you like a little bit of the artwork of the of indigenous Colombian, which are a lot of gold here, like all these references. You know, it's super, like they work a lot with gold. You know,
a little bit similar to Peru, right? Or not?
Yeah, I think there.
Wow, that's an amazing piece.
There's a legend called Leyenda El Dorado, which there's a famous lake close to Bogotá where they used to throw a lot of handcraft gold, and that was like sacred, you know. So that reminds me a lot. Look how my background connects with my Mexican background, because that connects me to the Mayan culture, because they have these cenotes, which are these famous formations in the Mayan Riviera, also super sacred to the Mayans, you know. So, and they used to throw all this their belongings, because that was a tribute to the gods, you know. So that's why I started to see water as a source, like a sacred source, you know, for tributes and the gods and all of that, you know. So like all these textures, you know, I'm gonna show you sombrero volteado, which is like an iconic Colombian hat. Look all these textures, you know.
That's nice. Yeah, it does look a lot like that. Yeah, because it looks like weaving in your part of your. Yeah, really nice.
So these textures have been a lot in my artwork. For example, I want to show you. Let me see if I find it. Before that, I want to show you the transform. I just started to expand the narrative into more international icons. For example, this is a transformer head with a similar style, you know.
Really nice.
And I want to expand more into pop culture, international pop culture. So let me. I want to see this one. So like this is a beach party. So you have this, like, you know, you see with the props.
Oh, is that the sombrero volteado, like from the top?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and like you see like the pool parties with the donuts, the floating donuts, all of that. So I changed the narrative into Colombian narrative, like arepas, which are empanadas and
Yeah,
chorizo.
arepas are delicious.
So like tropicalizing that
Yeah,
narrative.
there's a lot of circles like that too in the Aztec and the Toltec.
Yeah, so like, you know, a lot of
That's beautiful.
sombrero volteado, like with the rising, like having like this rising sun, you know, and like I see like two fancy Colombian women in the coffee plantations, drinking.
Oh
Like
yeah,
a,
I see it now. Okay, I didn't even see that at first. I just saw like a face.
yeah. So you see
Oh, that's really good.
two beautiful women like sharing a sip of coffee, yeah, in the coffee plantations, and this circle is like the symbol like of the sun, you know, like I just found it like it play a beautiful narrative between the sombreros and this also garments are also the patterns of the sombrero.
Beautiful. That is just beautiful. Wow. And it's amazing. Before you said the women, yeah, I didn't see it, but now once you did say it, then I couldn't not see it. Like
Yeah.
really something else. How long? How did you get into art, or how long have you been into art and NFTs?
I've been working in advertising agencies or marketing agencies on the last like 10 years. So for me, creativity, I studied Miami Art School, which is a school in Miami, art direction, and also worked in New York City for agencies in English and in Spanish, and also in the Netherlands. And then moved to Mexico. I worked a little bit. Um, and also then I came back to Colombia to work also in agencies. However, I saw I was working for other brands, companies, but I didn't work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a big need to express myself, to show my intimate like thoughts, some of my nostalgic childhood, many of the things. So like really trying to communicate my world like I have it in my brain to the world, you know. So it's been like a personal exercise, you know. For example,
Oh wait, I have to interrupt because I forgot to tell everyone, smash the likes, hit the subscribe, and put a comment, because that will really help this video and help people to see Alex's work, and also just for the NFT community in general. I have to say that a few times because it
okay.
totally it's like night and day for how much it helps the channel. Oh, that is beautiful.
Look, this is I call the pride of Mexico, el orgullo de Mexico. And like basically it's two
taco.
two queer guys like basically sharing a taco. And
That's so awesome.
this reminds me a lot of Saltillo, where I live, because that's the hometown of zarapes or the ponchos. They were originated there, and also like it's a tradition of indigenous tribes of Mexico and Texas. You know, like the zarapes. I read a lot about their history, but I also seen like mariachi culture is very macho culture. There's not a lot of women and there is not a lot of queer guys. So I thought it was super beautiful to like explore how to have like a queer mariachi, and how they like express and have their, like I can be Mexican, but at the same time I can be queer, for example. So I thought like it was a really it was a touching like a tension point, you know. There was a cultural like thing there like no one talks about, but I think it's
I lived in Mexico, and what I noticed is that there's this tradition is so strong. That's why you have this amazing culture, and people still listen to mariachis and the same music they listened to 100 years ago. But at the same time, it's like everybody makes their sandwich in the same way, like one piece of ham, one cheese, one bread, one you know, like it's a tradition is very strong. So like that's a bold move, like people who are saying, okay, there's all this other world out there too, you know.
Yeah, and what you say is so true, because with the symbols are super sacred.
Mhm.
So I never seen like a queer mariachi.
Me
So that's
neither.
why.
Especially with like that. That's so cute though, the
So
taco.
that's why I think this creates a conversation
Yeah.
that I can feel like Mexican and I can be queer if you want to be queer. And I think it's beautiful that you have your roots and you
Mm.
can like, look forward thinking and like be yourself, you know.
That's
Uh,
a very that's such a strong graphic. Like, and I was thinking of what you were saying. Like Ivan on Tech was my blockchain guru, and he loved memes and he loved jokes. And he's like, that's the way to change the world, is making people laugh with memes and jokes, but also art. You know, he wasn't in the arts, so but for us, it's like it really is a way to change the world because this is so pleasing and it's so cute and it's fun and it's playful, but yet it's sending a message. So you know, if somebody just came out and they're like, hey, I'm mariachi and I'm queer, like a lot of people are just gonna freak out instantly. But like this
yeah.
is so approachable and people come into it and they're like, oh, okay. You know, it's really an amazing way to, you know, expand people's thinking, you know, because it's so, especially, I mean, especially your work, because it's so vibrant, it's so upbeat, so clean, it's peaceful, it's kind, you know.
Yeah, I also did a women version because I just also wanted to explore that kind of narrative, you know. I think it was super necessary.
Yeah.
Um, you don't see a lot of women mariachi, and you don't see a lot of women mariachi, queer mariachi, even less. So that was like a super interesting topic of conversation and exploration. I did
Mhm.
wanted to, and look, the patterns are like taken from the gay flag, from
Ah,
the
yeah.
gay flag. So it was like full circle to communicate the idea, you know.
Really. Genial, genial. Genius. Yeah, you're so brilliant. Amazing.
So for example, sometimes I really inspire some
Mm-hmm.
simple things.
Mm-hmm. That was
And
cool.
this is the story of my Mexican friend who came to visit me. We were in Bogota, and she was so amazed because she saw such a big avocados, because in Mexico avocados are super little, and
Mm.
like avocados in Colombia are like super big.
Oh, really? Tell me like
So yeah, like every Mexican friend, like really when they come here, just really get impressed with the size of avocados. So it was a tribute of that moment. So if you, Zach, if you are seeing this, I want to say thank you for the inspiration at the moment,
it
because
is.
we created a great illustration because of it.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful. That view and the red, your colors. So
and
amazing. We're gonna do a Spanish interview later. So
okay,
para
okay,
todos que hablan español, we'll do another one. I just want to give them a heads up. Oh, that's so
okay.
beautiful.
And this one is Tejo is a sport of very like the national sport of Colombia. And when you say national, it's not like everyone practices, but it's like a tradition, you know. So it's a lot of it is practiced in the pueblos, in the rural areas. And so it's the idea, this person has a stick, and this is she has to throw it to this thing. I don't know how to call this, but if you like go into the circle, like when you throw the stick, it
Uh-huh.
will create like a firework, you know.
Oh, really?
And it's a
That's so
culture
fun.
when people go drinking with the beers and all of that, you know, with their sombreros. So I find it like a re- like no one like illustrates about Tejo in Colombia because it's so much in the background. But and I really wanted to make a tribute to rural Colombia and all these Tejo clubs, because I think it's becoming like a hip thing, you know. So younger people want to bring Tejo clubs to bigger cities where culture is reshaped and refined and all of that. Like, and I think it's nice, you know, like people wanna bring back their traditions, but give it like a more modern twist, you know. It was a very personal thing, you know, to illustrate about Tejo.
No, that's amazing. I think Tejo should make a comeback, like a sport where there's like fireworks when you get a point.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
yeah, we can say like this is the
I want to
bowling.
buy a little park in front of my house. I'm going to set it up.
It's like a bowling sport for Colombia. It's like the bowling.
Oh, it's indoor. It's always indoors. You have to have like a
Yeah,
Tejo house and everything. Okay,
yeah. So
cool. And is it real fireworks that go off?
yeah, like it's like it's small, you know, pertinent to the space because you cannot. It will explode the whole thing, so it's a little bit small to just to pop up the sound, you know, of the when you go to the point. This is I don't know if you've seen this, los voladores de
Papantla.
Papantla.
Voladores de Papantla.
Yeah, voladores de Papantla is such a like a ritual.
Is there any way you
know?
can make it bigger? That is so gorgeous.
I have no idea. Like, I'm sorry, like for
All
me,
right, maybe just
my
try
some,
on something.
yeah, like Voladores de Papantla,
That's fine. That's fine.
it's a tribute to Mother Earth, you know. So all this, it's an indigenous of many different indigenous cultures of Mesoamerica, Mexico, and Central America, and they grow up like since they're kids to do this thing, you know, and it's a tribute to Mother Earth. So if they do it, they are having good crops in the season and all of that, good corn and all of that. So it's a beautiful tribute where some people will go up in the stick, you know, like 20 meters in the altitudes, and they start flying
40 feet, yeah.
Yeah, until they get down. But I had like a little twist, so I put a little bit of Spider-Man here. So I remember yeah, it's like Spider-Man, and there, you know, you have this Spider-Man in the multiverse, like many Spider-Man. So I really wanted to combine, like make a fusion between Voladores de Papantla and Spider-Man, just to include more people in the narrative, you know.
That is really, really great.
And also this is Uxmal, which is it's a very underrated city in the Mayan.
I know, I've been there.
But,
It's amazing.
But it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite.
The Temple of the Magicians.
Sí, yeah. Templo de la Divina, Temple of the Magicians. Yeah, you nailed it. Oh my God.
I have a good memory for things that I've seen, but I've always been obsessed with ancient.
Like Mexico and Central America has a lot of like Mayan and other indigenous cultures, like cities, and they're so underrated.
I've been to probably 100 of them, and they're all different. Yeah, that city, Uxmal, is huge. Like,
yeah, and the pyramids are
mind blowing. I love that, and I love your like sensibility of doing. You have a lot of pairing. You know, it's very like symmetrical and mirror and very balanced, and it seems very solid. You know, but I do have a question. Oh, look at that! I'm so cool. Oh, okay. I know where that is. Ekbalam. No, that's have you ever been to Ekbalam? They have a big jaguar now.
Yeah. Ask your question.
Oh, it was about the Papantla flyers. Like, do you know how it's connected with Mother Earth? Do you know, like, if they're like what the mechanism is that they're connecting and blessing the earth?
Yeah, they're blessing the earth because they want to have good crops in the season. Like,
yeah, but usually a lot of, anyway, I do medicine wheels. I do some ancient technology stone circles, but look, I think it must have something to do with like opening a vortex or something with the spinning. Like there must be something.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into it because I'm very fascinated now.
So this is a Xochimilco, which is a very famous tourist place in Mexico City.
Yeah, keep going. Wow. You know, I lived in Mexico City for so many years, but I've never been there. I mean, I've seen it from out from the street, but I've never been in the canals.
So yeah, it's a very famous hotspot. Like
Yeah.
you cannot miss it if you go back. So and I like the trajineras, which is these beautiful boats are decorated. And I use the serpent. I think the serpent is so underrated in Mexico, but I think it's the most important animal for me in the indigenous communities. You know, the serpent is everywhere, like in the pyramids, it's so present. So I really wanted to do this, the serpiente emplumada, the feather serpent, which is sacred. And
yeah.
And it's super important because that's in the Aztec mythology, when they're doing these human sacrifices, they're supposed, like the feather serpent are supposed to eat them, you know. So it's so important. And when Mexico was founded, they went and saw an eagle killing the serpent. So it was the other way around, you know.
I gotta show you. I have a painting of that I made.
Oh, really?
I gotta show you really
quick. Show me.
I gotta show you. I have a lot of snake paintings, and I was saying in one interview, like, there's two things that are hard to sell, and one is snakes and one is nudes. Where is it? What is that? It's right around here, or it was. Yes. Oh, here it is. All right, I think the lighting is kind of not so good, but we'll try it. And the lighting is orangey. But I'm like right there with you. That's why I heard you talk on the spaces, and I was like, oh, I really want to interview you because.
Oh my God.
Nopal, like in the Mexican one, it's on a nopal.
Yeah, that's a legend, you know. Like the Mexica culture, the Aztec culture say, if an eagle is killing a serpent, that's where you found the empire, basically.
Yeah, Tenochtitlan.
So that's why I think in Mexico the eagle is more important than the serpent. But I think for the Mesoamerican cultures like the Aztec and the Mayas and all of that, the serpent is much more important than the eagle. Like eagle is non-existent, but serpent is everywhere. And so I wanted to do, if you see this is a contrast. This is a GIF animation, and it's between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Why do I say this? Because this is like the day, and like they're so happy, but the other one is like a dark illustration. They're like calaveras, so they're usually dead. So my thought is that for a lot of the Mexican mythology, you have an equivalent of something in the day in the world of the living, and an equivalent of something in the world of the dead. So you have a Xochimilco in Mexico City, but you're eventually going to have a Xochimilco in the world of the dead people.
Yeah, I love it. That's what they call La Nahual, right? That's sort of like La Nahual is I think it's related.
Okay, you know more than me sometimes.
I'm deep into a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why when I heard you say that, I was so fascinated because, you know, in Mexico, people freak out, you know, even the music. I was just listening to mariachi music, and there's like heartache, you know, and pain. And I was like, I want to go live in Mexico again, because people, they fall in love and they have heartache. They don't just be like, oh, he was a narcissist, you know, like that's what we do here. Like you just experience that pain and the death, and it's more closer to, I don't know, reality, maybe, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's so interesting that like in the Mexican culture, they address it and they celebrate it and they engage with it.
Yeah, so I really wanted to expand this narrative to the world. just I think Latin American culture is so rich and so diverse that I inspire with all these legends and all these myths and all these cultures, and like mixing modern places and like ancient myths. I'm just mixing the world of the living and the world of the dead and all of that. And I'm so fascinated with all of that.
That's why I love, one reason I say I love the NFT world, because people from everywhere, we're all together on Twitter, now we're together here, together on OpenSea. So all of this incredible richness is coming in, of a lot of art that, I used to live in Mexico back in the day, and, you couldn't really just show your stuff to, all over the world like you can now. Oh my God, that's amazing. But I have to ask you a question. Wow, that is incredible.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question about how you made your GIF? Because
yeah.
Because I actually, even though I'm NFT Eve, I haven't made us tons of NFTs because I have a lot of questions about, like, how did you make the GIF? And because I have one program where I can make GIFs, but the resolution is really, it's not good afterwards. Like, that looks like high resolution GIF.
Oh yeah, I just use Photoshop. I did 2 illustrations in Illustrator. I basically, sometimes I start in Vectornator in the iPad. The sketching.
What's it called? Vectornator?
Yeah, in the iPad. But
that's an app? I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's a free app in the App Store. But then I finished my illustrations in Illustrator. And then I exported to Photoshop. So I had 2 illustrations. And in Photoshop, I did the GIF basically, because they have this video animator tool within Photoshop.
I didn't know that.
You can create animations in Photoshop.
So you don't have to learn After Effects.
No. You can do it in Photoshop.
Okay, this is a lot why I even started my channel, so I can ask these questions.
Yeah.
So I hate when they respell my words. Gosh, why do we? Yeah, all of the graphic artists and the advertisers have a huge advantage over the rest of us in the NFT world. Like, you're about the 3rd person that I've interviewed that's either in advertising or graphic arts, like, because you guys are so comfortable in all of the digital, everything digital, all the programs and.
Okay.
So like you're saying, so many people had a job, they had to go get a job because they didn't want to be an artist and, starve. and then, like now, since the NFTs have come out, people are like taking all that knowledge and making these masterpieces. These to me are all masterpieces of art, everyone.
Yeah. I'm very inspired with the culture, like as I told you. I think I want to explain this one because I told you that I like to mix narratives. So as I told you, the feather serpent is like one of the most sacred, the supreme animal, in my opinion, of many of the Mexican and Mesoamerican cultures. So I just and that they ate like they did the human sacrifices with the serpents. So these are like actually human beings, and they're eating it in the taco.
Oh yeah.
That's
oh my gosh, a human taco.
And they
eaten by Quetzalcoatl. That's so amazing.
And they look like rappers, because they have this swag, like pyramids, like jewelry, and
that's amazing.
And like the Air Force Ones here, and the Supreme logo in the background. So yeah, because I wanted to show there were the Supreme animals, and I really like how China portrays the dragon, because the dragon is everywhere. The dragon, they brand brands with the dragon like dragon technology, like dragon shoes, like dragon, everything is the dragon. So, and I think the serpent has like a similar like meaning, but is not very used in modern narratives. So that's why I wanted to experiment a lot more with the serpent, because it reminds me of the Chinese dragon.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, there's a lot of other, even that snake, the eagle eating the snake, there's even other cultures in the world that have that same thing about eagle eating a snake. And there's other plume serpents, like in different little parts of the world. Can't remember where, but sometimes my ear's always open to that, when I see like some other cultures also have this concept. So it's very mysterious. Yeah, I love it. I love the way those bodies look. That looks very Azteca,
Yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions that you wanna address.
Oh, what I want to tell everyone, smash the likes, put a comment, subscribe, and all of your links will be below where you can buy your work, where you can follow you on Twitter, Instagram, or wherever you are. Oh, let's see this. No, I don't have any questions. I just really enjoy seeing your work. It's really, it's so amazing because on everybody I've interviewed, like you just hear people on Twitter Spaces. I mean, your work could have been anything, but it's amazing. It's very, so much mastery, and this is really something. This really reminds me of my life in Mexico. Like,
yeah, this is el Ángel de la
tacos. Oh yeah, there's the Ángel de la Independencia.
So yeah, I was inspired basically in Paris because I see a lot of romantic like scenes in Paris, like with the Eiffel tour.
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower. Sorry with my German. Eiffel Tower, like in the background, like sharing a romantic meal, all of that. So really wanted to portray that like for a Mexican like scenery in Mexico City. So like Ángel de la Independencia is really the most iconic statue or symbol of Mexicans in Mexico City. That's where all the celebrations and the protests gather. So it's like a little bit like a Arco del Triunfo, like no Arco del Triunfo, like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but instead of that, I also put some mariachis to like go with the meal, and like this couple sharing like the taco, like tacos, like as a romantic like showing. So
yeah, like we're eating, and we have, it's very sensual, like we're eating, we're romantic.
Yeah.
This like boleros, this trio in the background, like I immediately saw it, immediately remember some of those moments where you're listening to this very romantic music. And
I had 7 editions, and my collector bought all the 7 editions of it.
I'm sure it's really
so crazy. So this is one of my favorite illustrations because it captures the imagination and the of the city in a more romantic place with all the elements you need to have like a perfect meal with your significant other, So
I love your hair. Your hairs are amazing.
yeah. So I think also like this is in Colombia. This is in a town called Pijao, which is in the coffee region.
Oh, that's,
and they have like these little architectures,
Mhm.
like there's a couple of towns that really have this. So I'm gonna show you because this is so real. So they have these architectures, these colors, different combinations, like an Art Deco scenery. And I found this super, look at these colors, Look at this, all these details in the buildings, like look at these combinations. It looks so Art Deco and at the same time so traditional. So I really wanted to, let me find it again. look. So it reminds me a lot of Wes Anderson scene. I was inspired by Wes Anderson to, when you see the symmetrical things, it's because I'm really inspired by Wes Anderson and his how he put it in the scenery, so symmetric and so like that.
That was beautiful. And I love the white. I mean, the coffee cups are amazing.
Yeah. So like the sky is symbolized with the lines, and a couple of girls sharing coffee meal in a coffee pueblo, and the Art Deco thing, I think it's so beautiful, So I really wanted to portray, because I didn't see anyone talking about these pueblos, and I think they're so beautiful and so iconic and so underrated to international audiences, but are so beautiful. So I really wanted to share with the world,
Are Colombian women still gorgeous? When I lived in Mexico, like sometimes we go to the Colombian restaurant, or even when I lived in New York, the Colombian culture, the women are always dressed up, made up hair, and they're very like sensual and pretty and just very distinctive kind of people.
Yeah.
Like I know now, like the people that I see just look more kind of average every day, but your work is sort of reminding me of that, like people who are very kind of high fashion, really, in Colombia.
Yeah. And this is like a very similar scenery.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Very similar, and similar architecture, Art Deco and all the stuff. But also, I really love it. This is called Finlandia, but it's basically very similar. Like the architecture is super Art Deco as well. They're like neighboring pueblos, but you see all these colors, all of this, like this. Look at this color.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, it was basically an inspiration.
Did you say you live in Bogotá?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we can like okay, it's OpenSea/Made in Mexico. That's my login, my username, if you wanna look up more of my work. But if you like, we can wrap it up and we can do this.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, because so I just have one question. So when do you make your image and then you reverse it and then mirror it? So is that how you're doing a lot of your images? Like you're creating one and then you're just mirroring it like that?
Yeah, I really like in all of these scenes, I really like symmetry. So as I told you, I'm very inspired with Wes Anderson and how like Grand Hotel Budapest, like the colors. So
I don't know, but I'm gonna have to look into it.
Yeah, check it out.
So yes, your work is so amazing. And also in Mexico too, because like pyramids have symmetry. A lot of the work is like very solid in that the way that your work is symmetrical, it just gives it this super solid feeling, almost like the pyramids, when they're like, very, I don't know why it makes it solid, but it really does. Especially in your works, you have a lot of architectural things also happening in the background. No, this was amazing. I'm so inspired and in admiration, and really appreciate that you shared this work, and it's really good. It's really good. Maybe if I get some money from a painting I sell and I get like a drop, there's an ETH drop, I would love to collect some of your work.
Oh, I will really appreciate it. That would be a great honor for me.
Yeah, I haven't really collected much because I'm nervous about it but I do think, I mean, clearly, like you really have a place in the world, of artists worldwide for sure. And did you see Brian? Do you know him? He lives also in Bogotá. I interviewed him. His work is really.
Oh, never. I don't know him.
Brian Castillo. Yeah, look at his. I made a video with him in Spanish. He's very, very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'll stop the recording button and then we'll see what happens. Such really amazing time.